second as we get into the map. Alright, so I almost had this nailed down with the overlay, but now we got it. It's a best of 5. It continues here in the No Dice Gaming Showmatch series, guys. Don't forget, the winner of this goes on to fight against the winner of Dragon versus Puzzle. So it's kind of like, if you imagine things were at the semifinals of like a tournament. It's not quite a group stage, but it's almost a group stage type thing. Anyways, I'm Rifkin, joined today by Zombie Grub, and spawning in the top right corner of the map from Team Liquid, appropriately blue, it's going to be Taeja.
In the top left, as the Red Zur get a CM revival. And red works out for that.
Actually, it does pretty perfectly. It matches that nice glowing red emblem. I'm surprised he went for the Roach Baneling all-in again. Oh, I shouldn't say I'm surprised. It's more of like that he was persistent at it. Because the first time he hit, I don't know. Like, if it weren't for the last like 10 seconds, he did not kill much for that. Like, it was kind of scary for Revival for a long time there, but whether it's Taeja making mistakes or Revival making good moves, one way or another did carry him to victory. And Habitation Station is a map that I feel is, well, first off, A, incredibly good for swarm hosts, and B, really abusive thanks to the gold bases. I know there's some people who really overvalue, and there's a lot of people who undervalue the gold bases. I kind of see them as this nice, like, this is like your icing on the cake if you can achieve it. And is he actually gonna take the natural here? Wow, so forget icing on the cake. This is cake before dinner type thing.
You don't watch much Korean StarCraft, I know, but did you hear about the transfer to the gold base and 2 racks? Not 2 racks, I think it's actually more than 2 racks, but Marine King Prime did it. It was pretty strong. It's pretty strong.
Zombie Grub, I did see that one, and do you know why I specifically saw that one? Because A, Reddit wouldn't shut the hell up about it, and
sure.
B, how long have I been like begging people to take golds on this map? Like,
yeah,
when I saw by the way, Taeja did this on ladder one time and he lost horribly doing it. But like, you guys, we got like our little Base Trade TV Skype group and things, and I basically was like, guys, Taeja stream right now. He's doing it. It's like just getting so stoked about the gold base.
Yeah, I was honestly curious if Taeja was gonna try it. Picking this map as his own, but I guess hearing that he failed miserably with it on ladder, I guess he's probably not going to be one to include it in his repertoire, unlike Marine King Prime, where, I mean, he pretty much has, 14cc into 2 racks, and he'll try either one no matter how hard they fail. I'm just kidding, I love Marine King. Fine.
Alright, well, the first Reaper is going to get across the map here. Scout No Natural is going to be a very odd thing to see, but unfortunately, because Taeja, like, as a Terran player, you're kind of limited. It's not like Protoss where you can just instantly swap up, throw on 3 gateways, and put on a ton of pressure. Like, as a Terran player, you're very limited on what you can actually do to punish this, and quite frankly, the answer is almost nothing until you get Hellions and Banshees out.
Yeah, you're not really going to see a Terran player thrown on 2 racks instead of a factory.
Exactly.
It's just not worth it. Interesting though that Revival's getting a Roach Warren very early on, just on 2 base. So the Reaper's able to do damage.
I think it makes a little bit more sense though. I mean, it's one of those things where, like I said, there's only one thing that's really going to punish this base, and that's heavier aggression early on. And the Roaches, let's be honest, like until Stim's out, they're pretty much good against everything, just like naked defenders.
Yeah, and that's why no one attacks without Stim, because Stim is so good. And Medivacs are so good too. We do see Taeja going for a starport though, and he's going to be going up to Banshees, I would assume, and that's good because Banshees are good against this base. Anything air related is good against this base.
Yeah, with these gases early on like this, it would have to be Banshees. I mean, I don't really see the Medivac drop tactics being employed here, but what's kind of interesting is Revival's not been able to mine too much off this base. I mean, he did take it earlier, and that's really nice and whatever, but with the Reaper harass constantly forced to just kind of run these drones around and not transfer more over. I mean, I guarantee you, if Taeja was staying back and he was playing super defensive, we would have seen like this big like 18 drone transfer, but that's not happening right now. Lots of Roaches out in the field finally though, so they can scrap around the middle of the map no problem.
Yeah. Actually, Taeja should not be trading right there.
Whoa,
But he
did
just
he?
did a lot of damage.
Did he just attack his own roach?
I don't know.
That's what it looked like for a second. They're so vicious, Revival. You're not good enough to be part of my army.
This could do a lot of damage. This is more than just. Well, actually, no.
It's got to focus the SCVs. I mean, it's
10 roaches. Yeah.
yeah. Without the bailings on this, guys, the whole goal of this is to kill a couple workers. If you can get the bunker, that's great. But you shouldn't get the bunker if Taeja handles this correctly.
Yeah, and
he
that was
may-
good Widowmine shots.
Well, he may actually need to pull a couple more SCVs from the main. He doesn't have enough to keep repairing this. But I guess well, the
he's
roaches are
fine.
dead. Yeah.
He should actually not have lost the last two, I feel, maybe. Very, very, tightrope kind of walk you can do right there and determine how many SCVs you want to save in that attack. It's quite difficult because if they do bust the bunker, it might seem like, oh, only 5 roaches, but when you realize you only have 1 marauder, then that's
Yeah.
that's
That's
more than you're ready to deal with.
problems.
Yeah, so Taeja held that pretty darn well. I mean, he lost 6 CVs, which is a okay amount for Revival, I'd say. It's still an okay, drone versus SCV count, I suppose. Plus, Taeja did not go for a 3rd CC, so he actually is looking to plan more aggression, probably because that gold base was taken. He's going to do a 2-base attack with Medivacs.
Yeah, I was gonna say it might be a small SCV loss, but I guess
no.
like even when you lose a lesser amount of SCVs against a player that has a gold base, it just again it's not so much about putting him behind, but getting ahead. Medvac's gotta be so careful. Almost ties to that spore crawler. Widowmine's gonna get some kills off as Revival retreats his drones out. Queen almost gonna get slapped in the face, but I don't think the roaches can clean this up. These are Medivac marauders, for goodness sake.
Yeah, there's no stim, so they're not like super powerful, but look how powerful they still are
Oh, here
against
come
the roaches.
Hellions.
And the Hellions come in to roast the drone line. That Queen would have been really helpful just to kill the Medivac in its last dying breath, potentially. And instead, the Marauder's gonna survive.
Pulls drones to this too. 13 workers down at this point. He's gonna lose everything here at the gold. And
Yeah.
this is rough. He's I don't like these roaches that are coming out. These need to run back towards the natural. He needs to like bulk these up, not come in one at a time.
For sure. And Stim's about to finish too, so now it's going to be even more effective. And I was mistaken. I thought he had 2 more Raxes and he was doing a 2-base push, but what was actually happening was Taeja had to react to that roach push, so instead of trying to get back out of it and produce like more Hellions or something like that, he just said, F it, instead of Banshees, I'll go ahead and get a Medivac and use these Marauders that I have built to, really great effect, apparently.
Look at this control too. Tayshia's picking up the lone Marauders. Unfortunately, didn't quite get that second one, but man, he gets so much more out of that drop and those low amount of units than I think he really should have been able to. But Revival now forced to go for a bit of a counterattack once again. It's never fun when you're forced to do this, but unfortunately, waiting for him was a ton of Marauders with Stim, some Widow Mines too, and the bunker is not even that big of a deal. He can't even get the surface area to repair it actually due to the command center and where it's at.
Yeah, the drop tried to commence further in the natural, but there was a Queen there, and the Queen alone's enough to take care of that Marauder. I think the Hellion was what died up there. Not a big deal. Again, Revival going to be behind on the upgrades. The stage has already started as 1-1.
Yeah, it's weird. This is like the reverse game. You'd think with like the earlier gold and the better economy, we'd see like 1-1 already finish out a Revival on his way to 2-2, playing that very typical way that Zerg dances with Terran, but Taeja just playing a little bit too much pressure, and even though this is a small force, this is still more army supply than Revival has, and what Revival has are kind of counterintuitive units. It's like if you're playing Pokemon, you don't fight a Squirtle with a Charmander of equal level. That's just silly.
Yes, that is silly. I thought you had it reversed, but you're correct. Good job, Rifting.
Did I?
Yeah,
Maybe.
you don't fight a Squirtle with a Charmander.
Yeah, okay, now you got me confused on what I was saying. I fixed
Sorry.
Charmander Squirtle because it's red and blue. And it's coming here with a bit of stimp, well, fire and water, of course, but still, with the stimp pack looking pretty darn good, just dancing for now. Gonna try and roaches into these Widow Mines. The Overseer is here. I don't know if he saw those. I think he did. Playing so careful.
Yeah, I think he saw them. They're actually, if you're looking for them, are quite visible and burrowed in the Overseer, of course.
Yeah, you can see the little like indents on the ground or whatever, but the thing about Widow Mines, guys, I think roaches are like one of the few ground units in StarCraft 2 outside of like an Ultralisk or something that they don't one-shot. So, oops, sorry, mouse went stupid mode there.
Whoa. Yeah. And also, Marauders kiting roaches. You don't usually see this because, speed is done or they're fighting on creep or something. But Taeja's actually using the fact, well, not anymore as he loses his Marauders, but he was using the fact that they outranged them.
Speed's about to finish up here in just a sec. But you're right, it's odd. You don't often see this happening, but you don't see a lot of what's happening in this game happen often. Quick gold base into like weird roach defense when it really, of course, Revival would love to be just flooding the field with lings and banelings at the moment. Get some mutalisks mixed into the mix, and unfortunately, not been afforded to do any of that. We do finally have him kind of getting on track though. The Spire's on the way, and while he might be in the hole about 4k resources lost compared to his opponents, I mean, Revival's got that gold base carrying him through this, and this is kind of what I was talking about, where like, if you're behind, it helps you catch up, but if you're ahead, it helps you extend your lead. A gold base isn't going to win you the game in and of itself, but if it's put in the right hands of a player who knows what they're doing economically with their macro, it can be fantastic. And it's, let's be honest guys, one of the big reasons Revival's still in this the way he is. But this push, again, looking very scary.
Yeah, just Marine Marauder Medevac is so good, and now they have the upgrades as well as they did finish. Now there's too many roaches, but Taeja's trading very effectively. He can lift up, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
Say that was an effective trade. I'll come back later, but for now I know you don't have any anti-air, so let me go drop everywhere.
You know, Roach Hydra actually in and of itself might not be too bad. The Hydra is that DPS buff. It didn't seem like it would be that big of a deal, but it's been huge.
Yeah, but he's not going for Roach Hydra. Like, I would actually like him to go for Roach Hydra at this point because he invested so much into it, and his +1 melee was so late. He didn't have a second Evo chamber. But no, he's going to try and, like, get back into, like, Ling Baneling Spire, I suppose. Although I don't think he has metabolic boosts. No, he doesn't.
Wait, what?
He doesn't have speed for all his Lings.
Oh, metabolic boost. I thought you said medevac boost. Sorry, too early in the morning for Rifkin. But fighting on creep this time is what the Revival is going for, but it's not looking to be enough of a way to turn the tide. He's going to push Taeja back, sure, but Taeja's reinforcements are coming. The 4th base is still under attack, never properly cleaned up. And let's be honest, a drop in the main might just seal the deal if Taeja could sneak on in there, but yeah, this army's looking a little bit too overwhelming at this point. A Transfuse goes down on the Roach, so that's when you know it's getting a bit dicey, but this 3rd base, or not 3rd, I guess his natural base, the gold base, finally going to go down. Maybe not, actually skips right by it, says, you know what, I'm just going to go for the killing blow. You don't have units.
Yeah. Slow Ling slotting in, never a good sign.
Well, Taeja takes it now 2-1 in this best of 5. Welcome back to the sub crew, by the way, Mont.